So we got started because when we first came to New York City, I came as an actor and writer, and my co-founder, Emily Bunning, she came as a dancer and choreographer. And we weren't finding work that we really felt fit us artistically. And having grown up together, I think we had a very clear vision of what we wanted for our lives. So without much, we just decided we would take an old script of mine and we would produce it.
Mara really came to me and said, I think we need to make work for kids.
Treehouse Shakers are going to strike a chord on Sunday.
We're doing Treehouse Shakers Animal Rhythms at the Coyote Playhouse. We weren't seeing dance theater, and we really felt that we could make dance theater. We could take a fully realized script and deconstruct it through movement. We really didn't know what we were doing. Like, we didn't have a business plan, we didn't have a business model. There wasn't anyone to look at that was doing dance theater. And we decided to create a piece about the letter O.
My sister always thought that there were other letters in the alphabet, so I decided to make a story about those other letters that were left out. And so O goes on a journey looking for those letters. The children have an audience dance that they do with us. We try to interact them in all levels, even where they paint the set before we begin.
I continue to write work for adults, and we continue to co-collaborate as artists.
Susie's house was salmon pink, like the desert mountains at sunset, and the inside was filled with colors and objects. There were paintings everywhere. Some of my mother's early paintings for other children, and my siblings hung on those walls.
Outside of Kissing Rock is the story of our lives growing up in Wyoming. And it's sort of signature in the sense that it really is about us. And it was a production that came right at the time when we had decided we are the Treehouse Shakers and this is what we're going to be doing for a long time.
Now this rat wasn't your typical sewer rat, or your average pesky neighbor digging through the garbage.
With some of our first pieces, it was our mission to make sure that all children had access to the arts. It creates empathy and beauty and thought. And we were just noticing that here we are in New York City, the cultural capital of the world, and there were a lot of kids that we were serving and they were not getting enough art. Their faces the first time they walked into the theater will always be with me. They were faces of wonder, of delight. It made such an impact on us that we knew that that's what we wanted to do.
Coyote was a beautiful dreamer.
Coyote's dance was based on Native American tales. Let's Talk About It is our show for teens.
This is my body.
Start with the
Ankle,
which is connected to my leg bone,
which is connected to my hip bone.
which is connected to my...
This is my body.
The only thing I ever heard was we weren't supposed to talk about it.
In the show, we have interviews with teens and we ask them who their role model is and how they feel about fitting in. And I think the students in the audience can really relate to them.
My parents were divorced.
I didn't know.
Oh, my parents were married and I still didn't know.
Hatched was our first show for the babies, for ages 0 to 6. And it has been such an amazing success. It's a piece where it's interactive, and so the kids get out of their seats and they get to feed the bird worm, and it is the most exciting thing to see.
Seeing the babies come to our show and being held by their mothers at 6 months old and being fully engaged, we know we're on the right track.
I love when audiences go home and they play Treehouse Shakers, because it means that they were engaged, entertained, and that they took something with them from the show that they want to incorporate into their life. As we move into our newer work, it's become a slightly more emotional journey that we feel that is important to tell. Under the Tangle is a piece for 8 and up, and it's about a girl who gets lost in a labyrinth after she loses her parents in a fire. It's really powerful when they approach us and they've connected with something in the show. A lot of students say, that was a little bit sad, but I understand, I've been through that. And it was so nice to see someone else was struggling with them too.
My favorite part of the show was when the girl met the boy because both of them were scared, and as the show continued, they started liking each other, and it was beautiful.
I like the water scene, but I also like the ending with the ladder in the background.
The audience had to figure out all of these little things and let you think about it for a long time.
Olive and Pearl is our newest work for ages 2 to 5, and it's this beautiful story of Olive and Pearl in their home, and it's about a grandmother and her granddaughter and all the fun and amazing things they do.
From those first pieces, we've now created 14 original dance theater pieces. We have 6 on a rotating tour around the United States. But we also have a very large repertoire of work that we bring into the schools as far as arts and education residencies.
We've come a long way. Our shows used to fit on the subway. Like, we used to just be able to sort of carry everything between the two of us to get to our performances.
Young people need to explore the arts. They need to have imagination.
Seeing how those kids react to dance is incredibly rewarding.
I think it should be mandatory that everyone has to build a story dance together, and it will connect the whole world.